Hello, everyone. First of all, if you're hoping to do a master's degree in Canada or to come via express entry, you need to refer to my previous video on my IGTV called DIY Canada Tips for Relocating Legally to Canada. So you want to check that out before this video. All right. So secondly, I'm not really sure what your expectations of this video are. But if you think it's something that's gonna, bring you to Canada overnight, or that it's a guarantee that it's going to work, sorry to disappoint you, it probably won't. Not that it wouldn't work. I know a lot of people that it's helped, and they are here in Canada today. But it's never a guarantee, right? Just like life, nothing is a guarantee ever. Also, this does not in any way replace the professional advice from immigration consultants, like the legit ones, because there are a lot of scams out there. The purpose of this video is just to, help people who don't really have that money to splurge on immigration consultants, and they're so, they really, really want to come to Canada. I'm just going to give you some tips to help you. Now, I'm not going to hold your hand and walk you through every single step. No, I'm just going to point you in the right direction, and then you have to run with it, because you have to start learning anyways. When you get to Canada, you're going to do everything yourself. No one's really going to help you do anything. So you better start trying to put into practice from now. Okay, so people, let's start by this. Try to think outside the box. A lot of times people come here, they have all these big dreams, and there's nothing wrong with having big dreams at all, right? But sometimes you have to not think about like short-term goals, but think about long-term goals. And I'll tell you what that means in a minute. So say, because you want to come to Canada, that's the thing. Legally, you want to come to Canada. So what if you're not able to come, the way you were thinking, like, oh, I would just put in, get my visa, this and that. It may not work that way. What my work is, coming here as a skilled worker. What my work is, coming here as a caregiver. So like a nanny, coming to do like, a living caregiver program where, you're taking care of people's kids for like 2-3 years, and at the end of the day, they put in papers for you. Of course, you've worked the hours, right? Because you want to come here, you want to work those hours. You can't just be like, they sponsor you to come here as a nanny, for example, and then you don't do it, right? Unless they're maltreating you, then that's a whole other case. And then of course immigration provides for that. But if they're treating you well, and that's why they sponsored you to come here, then you need to come here and do that. It doesn't matter if you're a graduate, it doesn't matter if you have 5 children, whatever. You're trying to come to Canada, because when you get your own permanent residence, then you can bring other people here. It only takes one family member to be here for everything to change. I know a girl, a student, who her family sold everything, like literally everything, their 4 kids, for her to come to Canada. And she came to Canada, and she did not disappoint them. She went to school, she was working, she was, she learned some skills, like she was braiding people's hair while she was going to school, doing it on the weekends, like a side hustle, because you can only work certain hours when you come here as a student. You're quite limited, right? During your school year, you can't work full-time. You can only work like 20 hours, I think. And then when you're on holiday, then you can work full hours, and there are some exceptions. So this girl got a hustle on. She was able to like braid hair. I think she was cooking on the side and things like that. Today, like 2 of her other siblings are here, right? And then of course, because she went to school here, when she graduated, they gave her parents visas to come here, right? And now I think by the time she's a permanent resident now, but by the time she's ready, she can apply for, her parents, she can sponsor her parents to also become permanent resident. Like, that family is set up for life. That could be yours. You may not have all the money right now, but can you talk to 1 or 2 people that might be willing to invest in you? Or call your family members, the ones that, care about you. Not all family members, actually care. But there's some friends that are even closer to you than family members. Let them take that chance. Let them invest in you. And then I challenge you to not mess that up. Don't let them feel like, oh, you're biting the hands that fed you, Do what they like. Come here, do the work, and then try to open that, because you just, like I said, one person needs to come here from your family for every other person. So if you explain that to people, right, have a plan. Nigerians, a lot of people, us, like we're so used to wanting people to do everything for you. No, that's not how it works. You have to put in the work. If you want to come here as, a nurse or anything, like a nurse, for example, or a skilled worker, go to that your professions for that skilled work. They always have like a professional body. Go and look it up. Go to their website and see what the international requirements are. Sometimes nurses in Nigeria, for example, like your registered nurse, they have years of experience. It might not transfer here as a registered nurse in Canada, right? You may need to come, like step it down, like come here as an LPN, licensed practical nurse, right? First, and then maybe take some exams and work for a little bit. Before you know it, you become a registered nurse. But who cares? You are still bless you, baby. You're still coming here. That's the bottom line, and that's what people don't see. They're like, oh, how can I come here as a nanny? How can I be taking care of people's children? I have a first class from Nigeria. How has that first class helped you? With unknown gunmen running around the streets and everything. How has that first class helped you? Right? Nobody's saying there, I know what some of the jobs that I had to do when I first got to Canada, right? But look at where I am today. In my profession that I absolutely love, in mental health, right? And I know doctors that immigrated to Canada that had to, while they were trying to get their accreditation, they were working in like warehouses and all of that. We need to stop this. Hey, I'm too big. Oh, I'm too that. I'm too this, because it limits you. It does limit you. Because, for example, I want Yoruba one igbe owo igbe okinrun. Owo igbe okinrun. So you have to take your mind out of there. Think big, right? Talk to your family members, or your friends, the people that can actually assist you, that can, instead of using that money, to buy some things that, they don't even make any sense. Invest that money in yourself. Because the way Nigeria is going, I don't know. But if you have that opportunity to send one person out, let one person come. Even if it's not you, if someone else, let them come. Now, when they get here, the problem is always getting to Canada, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, it's so difficult to come to Canada, because there's so many ways to stay legally when you come, right? When you come here, I see a lot of times students are like, oh, we're here, we got admission, then we left and all of that. They didn't give you good advice. So many people don't get good advice. So many people don't like you. Right? And when you're doing all this immigration stuff, keep it to a minimum. Don't broadcast it everywhere, so that people evil people that are trying to hold you down will now, see that. They don't need to go to Babalawo or whatever, but even just their thoughts alone can mess things up or even discourage you. Right? You may not have money right now, but start saving a little here and there. Save a little, some that you can sacrifice. Save it and start putting the work. It may not happen this year. It may happen next year. Well, not this. I don't know about this year because there's COVID everywhere. Only students, I think, are being allowed right now. And even that, there might be some exceptions for like some express entry of skilled workers, but it's very, very, it's a tricky situation. Immigration is one thing that always changes. It keeps on changing. Immigration may have one rule today, and then you check tomorrow that it's done. It's changed. Now, there were a lot of foreign workers that were here during the pandemic, like in the height of the pandemic, right? As farm workers, I think, or some people that, did support work and all of that. They were all here on temporary residence, and they were working. They worked through the pandemic. Guess what? About a couple of weeks ago, Canada just announced that they're giving 90,000 of them permanent residence. That past this permanent residence. Crazy. Imagine if that was you. So you come out from that. Oh, I'm too big. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I went to the best schools. I went to this. I went to that. How's that working for you? How? Bring yourself down. And then when you want to come here as a student, right? You can do indigenous studies, for example. I know legit someone who came here. She came here as an international student. As she got a scholarship. First of all, she went to work in the rural areas. Do you know they give this girl $5,000 to just say thank you for coming to work here, because a lot of people don't want to go there. It's cold, but yes, but I know Canada is cold. It gets a little bit to get used to it, but people have come and they did not die. God made our bodies. We adapt to things. You will adapt. Don't be today. Would you rather? Me, I rather cold than hot anyway. I actually don't like the summer. The only thing I like about summer is the clothes, the freedom of wearing whatever you want to wear. But it's too hot for me. you know. So these are the things that I'm saying. If you can start learning things, a lot of people, I see them, they come to Canada, they don't have any skill, they don't know how to drive. How can you come here, you don't know how to drive? Canada is massive. The landmass of Canada is bigger than the US, and there's only like the percentage, like 10% of the US population is what Canada's population is, you know. So Canada needs people. You may have a background in business, you may have a background in engineering and all of that, but that might be more difficult for you to come to Canada. Why don't you come another way? Instead of coming here to say, oh, let me come and do that engineering, or let me try and do one big thing, do something smaller. Support work. We're looking for support workers, especially during this time with the COVID and everything. We needed so many support workers, right? Support workers, social workers, indigenous studies, all those things. Farming is over $100 billion industry in Canada. Canada is looking for farmers all over the place. So if you haven't, you need to first of all watch down my other videos, especially if you're trying to come here, express entry or masters. I have it all laid out. You have to have proficiency in English. I'm sorry, you can't come to Canada if you don't have proficiency in English or French. You have to. I know someone who did the IELTS 8 times. Some people will do it once, twice. They're like, I'm done. You don't really want it bad enough, because if you want it, you continue trying. Another thing is, I just saw this today and I have to research on it, because again, immigration law is always changing, is the fact that Canada is accepting some exchange program where they would pay, it's like a scholarship, but just for like a semester or something. Like I think 4 months is the minimum and 6 months maximum. You would come here, learn, in the school, and then go back to Nigeria. But you have to go back, because then it will spoil your chances, right? But then you go back, and then guess what? Your passport is already open. You already have a chance to come here, because you already came here, you stayed, you studied, and you went back, right? But there's so many ways that you can actually come to Canada legally, right? Consider that. Come as a caregiver. So many people are looking for people to care for their kids while they're working. Come here, be good, do the work, because you only need hey mama, come. You only need couple hours, right? 1,000 something hours. You do that, and then it puts you on a pathway, to your permanent residence, to getting your permanent residence. If you come here as a student, like a graduate a degree, you get a postgraduate work degree, work permit after that, and you can work. This video has gone on, it's almost 13 minutes, so let me just cut it off before a lot of people have data reserves and all of that. If you come to Canada now, you're not going to shout, say, hey, my data. Anyway, I hope this helps you. Consider sharing if you think it did, and leave questions or comments in the comment section. If there are a lot of questions after this video, I will consider going on Instagram Live or Facebook Live, or both, to answer your questions on the go. Real quick, this girl won't come out my clothes. One last thing real quick. Welders are not left out. Skilled workers, welders, carpenters, painters, bricklayers, plumbers, all those professions here in Canada. Big bucks, man. Big bucks. Right? Welders here earn an average of, I think, $70 an hour. Canadian dollar is $3.85. Go do the math. Okay.